Hello and good morning and welcome to Digging the Coast 365. We're moving on. It's time to leave Danny's and move on. Now, I've got permission to do a lovely big place, a big like mansion, hotel type place, tomorrow and maybe the day after, not sure. So I've booked a youth hostel near there. It's like 3 hours drive. But on the way, there's a museum. Well, it's actually near where I'm staying. Haynes Motor Museum. And I thought some people might be interested in this. I don't do cars. I've never really been into cars or planes. It's just not my thing. But it gets some really good reviews and it could be quite good. So I'm going to go there, see if we can film. And I'm pretty sure we can. It's full of really old, ancient, special cars. It could be fun, so come with me. That was quite a long drive, but I've made it. I'm here in the museum now, and it's very impressive already, and I've just got in the entrance. But something I wanted to show you here, because this is interesting. Literally 6 miles away from here, somebody once said, called Roger Bacon, one day chariots will be constructed which will start and move without the impulsion of man or horse or animal. That was 660 years ago. Okay, so he predicted this. This is the guy here. He predicted that there would be such a thing as a car. And I've also learned something else. Benz. Now I've heard of Mercedes-Benz. As I've told you, I'm not a car person. It's never really interested me, but I'm interested so far in here. Benz, okay, Carl Benz invented the first ever automobile, and his wife was the reason that he continued. I think he got to the point where he was going to say, "Oh, I can't be bothered with this," but she says, "No, you've got to see it through, So they got a patent on a 3-wheeled automobile, the first one ever, in 1888. It's here. This is one of them, a 3-wheeler. The first machine, the first car, if you like, a 3-wheeler with an engine on the back. Wow, from 1888. So the car, the automobile, was invented in Germany. And there's something I would love to point out. I have to show these. Carl and Bertha Benz, this is them in their day. Now look at them both. These were married. Remember, these guys were married, yeah? Look at him. Now look at Bertha. She was well out of his league. She was absolutely beautiful. And there you have Carl and Bertha Benz when they're a little bit older. So then in 1897 we moved on to this, the Dimmler Wagonette. And I believe this is British. I think it was a German person who came to Britain and came up with this, which still looks a bit like a horse and carriage with an engine. And then in 1903 you had the first mass production automobile. This is it. Now a lot of people think it was Henry Ford who did that. It's not, it wasn't Henry Ford. It is called the Curved Dash Oldsmobile from 1903. It says it up there. And this happens to be one of the first ever motorbikes, a 1901 Armoured motorcycle. What's amazing about this is it's a 240cc engine. My scooter was only a 50cc. And here you have the first ever Rolls-Royce armoured car, used in World War I. And I've noticed down here there's a little cabinet with some relics from World War I. You've got a Bible there, bullets and trench art. Look at this, a cigarette case with a bullet hole in it. You can see how they've made a bullet here, some bullets into like little knives or letter openers or whatever they are. Trench art. I'm sure I'm not the only one, but I still would love to drive one of these. These were your cars from the 60s and 50s by Fiat. This one's quite cool, 1928 Rolls Royce, but the size of this is huge. This is a 1922 8 horsepower Rover. You know, you don't see people driving these on the roads anymore, do you? Just going past some very small cars now. You've got the modern smart car over there. You've got a Trojan here, that's 1964. 1961. 1956. Look, that's pretty cool. I can see myself going around in that. Now I have to show you this because it's amazing. You've got this purely white Mini here and a computer where you can actually paint the Mini. Watch this. So we go to colour. Let's have some red. Do the roof. Hang on. Yeah, we'll go for blaze. Look, it's gone on. Or you can clear that. Clear it all. Change the colour to red and watch with my finger and watch the car. Unbelievable. What an attraction. Kids must love coming and seeing this. Deep Digger Dan. Get in. Beautiful. Who wants to make me that? We're in the Mini section now. 1969 Riley Elf. That's really nice. Then you've got a Walsall Hornet 1968. A Morris Mini Cooper. This is the ones which, as far as I'm concerned, were the most famous. 1965. And this is what you see going around now. This is a 2000 Mini Cooper Classic. We're in the Lotus section now. Now, can anyone tell me why all Lotuses are yellow? Am I missing something? As I say, I'm not a car person, so I don't know things like this, but all Lotuses seem to be yellow. So that's a 1977 Lotus Elite. I'm not keen on that, I'll be honest. 1996 Lotus Elite, that's a bit better. But then we're getting on to the classic ones, 1971 and 1967. Lotus Elan S3. This one's stunning. Morris Minor 1958, but look at the paintwork someone's done on this. Sorry about the glare from the lights. You're going to get that in here, unfortunately. There's a lot of chrome, a lot of lighting. Absolutely beautiful, this. And in the back, they've actually carved out a little oval thing so you can see more detail inside. Very nice. Here you have a 1958 Chevrolet Corvette. Now you Americans are going to have to tell me, is that like the ultimate American car? It looks like it could be. I wouldn't mind one. I might be wrong, it might be a 1963 Stingray. 2 signs, 1 car, somebody tell me. I've heard of this before, I'm sure. 1981 DeLorean. Isn't that what was in Back to the Future? I don't like the shape. It looks, I don't know, it's not my kind of thing. I love the colour, the fact it's got no colour. I like that. You've got a 2001 Chevrolet there. 2006 Chevrolet Corvette convertible. Harley Davidson 1958. 1985 Chevrolet Corvette. You've got more Chevrolets now. 1964 Impala. And 1970 El Camino S5396 pickup. And I have to say, so far in all the things I've seen, this is the one I want. I can see me in that. It's very me. It's just a Dodge Charger from 1969. 1955 Chevrolet Bel Air. They're all Chevrolets and Cadillacs. Tons of them. They're very clean, I'll give them that, they're very clean. But I can't get excited over a car. You know, as long as it gets you from A to B, I'm quite happy. With my car, it does the job, you know, my Citroen C3. I started there, and I get to there, I'm happy, you know. Good on fuel. Needs a clean, admittedly. It doesn't look as good as these, but it does the job. Now this is a Dodge Viper RT10, and it looks good. You know, I'm sure it's quite expensive, but something I'd like to point out, look inside. Look, not even got any air conditioning in it. That's got the same setup as my Renault Clio had from 15 years ago. My Citroen C3's got air conditioning. I don't want one. I won't have one of them given. Now that's a Lamborghini from 1981. 81, remember that bit? The price, if you got one new, £86,000. £86,000. My car I got for £2,000 and it's 2005. For a lot less money. I don't know, I'm just hoping some of you guys are going to really get excited about these cars. Doesn't mean anything to me. So this is the first Formula 1 car I've ever seen in my life, face to face, which is quite impressive. To be able to say I've actually seen one. This is one from 2010, which was actually driven by Mark Webber. But wasn't Mark Webber rubbish? I don't know, he might have been good, but I don't think he was like a world champion or all, was he? One thing I do love about this car though is the Red Bull sign. I quite like Red Bull. Don't mind a bit of that. These tyres are really surprising me. I would expect on Formula 1 cars for them to have really good grips on the tyres, and they're completely smooth. I don't know if that's just because they're used ones, but there's no tread on them whatsoever. So this is the Ford Gt40 Mark II. Now, if you do ever get one of these, think twice, because if you look at it carefully, it's got a petrol cap there, and it's got one over there as well. That's going to be confusing. You know, when you go into a petrol station, which side do you park? Which side of the pump do you park at? Can you put petrol in them both? Why do you need two? So we're on to bikes now, and something I've noticed which is quite interesting. Like that one I really like, that's 1914, a BSA. Very nice, 557cc. But if you look at them going through the years, 1927, Triumph, 1930, James Autocycle, 1936, they don't change much. Another Triumph, 1951. Bikes have not changed much over the years. Just chilling on a speedway thing. I can show it much better here through the speedway ones. 1928, yeah? Just take a look at the design of that, 1928. 29, 29, 29, 30, 31, 48, 50, 68, 75, 76, 80, 80, 85. The designs have hardly changed in all them years. I think this is my new favourite. That is gorgeous. It is called an Auburn 852 Speedster. Very nice. I had to come and take a look at this one because it's beautiful. I thought it was a Ghostbuster car at the first, but it's not. It's an ambulance. It says ambulance up there, but it says fire department here, so I don't know which it is. I'm guessing American, city of Lewistown. Never heard of it. We're now in the scooter section. Mods and rockers and stuff. I'd have been a mod if I were younger. There's a couple which are really taking my eye. I love this one. 1951 to 65 Vespa. Douglas Vespa, that's really nice. And then this one over here. A Sun Wasp, 1959 to 61. Look at that. Anybody who doesn't know the story of the mods and rockers in England, you have to watch this film, Quadrophenia. That explains everything, and Sting is in it. That is Sting, as a very young man. But what a fantastic film, and it tells you everything you could ever want to know. I'm just looking at all these posters of all the different bands of the time, and I was into so many of these. The Kinks, the Byrds, Madness. And this is how all the mods would dress. And you can see this in some of the things I wear nowadays. I wear similar. Not so much the long coat, but I wear similar to this now. And they always wore a hat. This is all motorsport things. You've got Formula 1 cars, but they're all replicas, I think, then. But that's a replica of a one which Schumacher drove, Michael Schumacher. And then I don't know what you've got here. You've got like Formula 3 and rally racing, and I've never watched it. I've watched Formula 1. I like Formula 1, but anything else, it's just cars going round and it doesn't do anything for me. Sorry, I'd love to get excited for you, but if it's not my sport or my kind of thing, I can't. But I'm showing it to you in case you do like things like this. You've got so many Morris Minors here. Dozens of them, all different ones. But there's only one which looks nice. Wait till you see it. You know which I'm talking about already, don't you? This beauty here. And they never sold it in England. They made it for export to America. It's called the 1960 Austin Nash Metropolitan. I'd want that one, none of them other rubbishy ones. Now you've got a 1954 Austin there, but then you've got this one down here. Can you see the design fault? It's too small, and it's got no windows. It's going to get wet if it rains. And it's got a flat tyre. That's rubbish. They put it right next to Sexy American exported one as well. There's a lot of Ferraris in here. I've never seen a blue one, I'll be honest with you. Everyone has to have red when they get a Ferrari, don't they? None of them are taking my eye apart from this one. I do like this. It's got a huge windscreen. (1981) 308 GTSI. Yep, I wouldn't mind one of them. Some of these are alright. Triumphs, MGA Roadster, Sunbeam Tiger, Rochdale Olympic. Oh, they're getting rubbish now. Triumph Spitfire, Yeah, that's alright, I suppose. Triumph Spitfire, we'll go with that. But this is called the Red Room. All the cars are red, as you can see. Not one Citroen C3, like my red one. That's what it's lacking. So as I keep telling you, I'm not a car person, don't know anything about them. But this one caught my eye. I really like that one, and I'm just reading about it. And look who's owned this in the past. Sterling Moss himself, Pablo Picasso, Tony Curtis, Ringo Starr. I must have good taste. Because that is... Yep, that's probably the one I want out of all the ones I've seen. I've got to laugh when I see this one. You know, these are your proper sized cars, yeah, and then you've got this one here. This tiny little thing. And I'm just reading the sign, and the first line of the sign says, "This popular frog eye had its limitations." It had its limitations, I wonder what they were. It's not very big, is it? Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Not really my thing. I did enjoy it, don't get me wrong, it was okay. But very expensive for someone who's not interested in cars. I think it was about £13–14 to get in. But I hope some of you car lovers did like that. It was like a library though. I couldn't express myself in my videos, you know. It was like you had to be quiet and walk around silently, and then you've got me in the background filming and looking a bit of a nipple. But I gave it my best shot. So anyway, donations in the last 24 hours, we have got quite a list here. Oliver, €20. Lars, £10. Groovy Kevin, $20. Jeremy Brown, $250. Well done, Jeremy. Circe and Kevin, $20. Lucy, £20. Chris Brereton, $10. Gerald from Oregon, $10. Chris Callback, $20. £50. Paul R. Davison, $30. Sean and Cindy Hyatt from Missouri, $20. Derek Jones, £10. Elizabeth and Bob, $25. Lady Bird, £50. Now, Lady Bird, I did meet the other night. She's called Jo, and she's a lovely lady. So thank you very much, Jo. $6.66. $30. Some of these are anonymous and names I can't say. Shedsky, $25. £10 from David Reynolds via me. He sent it to my PayPal, but I've paid it on here. Yole Nadal, $20. Fantastic, a very good 24 hours. We've now gone over £30,000. Oh yes, which is a big thing for me today, because this is exactly halfway through my trip. 6 months today. The 20th of August I set off, it's the 20th of February. So, we've actually got £30,252. At this stage, we were aiming for £25,000. And if you add the, what do they call it, the gift aid on top, it's just about £32,000. So, thank you all so much for supporting me and Rays of Sunshine in the first 6 months of this trip. Another 6 months to come. Please continue the journey with me. Tomorrow we're off metal detecting on a mansion. Oh yes. For now I've got to go find my hostel, so thanks for watching. See you all later, and good evening. On Digging the Coast 365. I'm just going to throw that in because I know that's a big one. 1966 Ford Mustang. Very nice. That's not a car.
If you'd like to donate to Rays of Sunshine, simply click the link in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel.